1349 is a force of nature, named after the year that the Black Death came to Norway. They're a force of nature live and one of the staples of Norwegian black metal music. At the Inferno festival, I was asked to sit down with Ravn, their vocalist, and have a career talk. And speaking of career talk, I never planned to become a content creator. I'm an artist. The content I make is art and stories. So when I sat down and talked with Olav, and we discussed growing up in Norway and spirituality and art, I didn't come properly prepared, so we didn't get to record the first minutes of the conversation, and the resolution of one of the videos is not that good, and we might have needed to put up some better camera angles, but the conversation is the point. The magic that happens between two people when you sit, talk, and draw, and just forget about the camera and the audience. And every time I tried to push the volume up or the tempo up and entertain the audience, Olav pulled me right back down. Now, before we go into this wonderful conversation, I have to do the content bit. So if you would like more videos like this, press the subscribe and the bell icons and all of that. And you can also support on patreon.com/KimHolm or become a member of the YouTube channel. And yeah, without support from people who like what I do, I can't keep doing this. So please, if you can, support, and if not, then just, I hope you enjoy the conversation. I'm sorry that the first few minutes is a little bit messy, and yeah, I hope to get to sit down with more people and have talks like this in the future. Black metal bands.
Well, it could be worse.
It could be worse. It's never so bad that it can't get worse.
No, that's a pretty good omen for
Yeah.
today's times as well.
I guess we've started, in a sense.
Okay. Welcome.
And what I'll be doing here is, or what we'll be doing here,
Yeah.
is that we'll be having a conversation, and I'll be trying to draw you your portrait for the first time without corpse paint on, and hopefully without you headbanging. That's sort of.
Let's see what the evening brings.
Yes.
Yeah. We can start about this, and it's a career talk.
Yeah.
I felt that was a bit weird, but when they said that it would be with you as for that, well, that's great, because I wanted to know more about your career. And
I think I have the same attitude as you about the idea of a career talk, because it's less a career and more a symphony of blunders that have accidentally started rolling down or up this hill, and with very little control over where it's going. I don't know.
That's the typical great career.
Yeah, that's the fun careers, at least.
When I first got the request, I was like, career? Well, I don't see myself as a talented guy at all. The only talent that I would claim that I have is to have the ability to spot talent in other people.
And to latch on to it, or?
Yeah, and have them, especially people that don't think they have a talent, and say, well, this can be utilized for this. And that's the first time when I met you as well. That was kind of the same feeling, that this guy is. I don't think you're aware of what you're doing, basically. Especially at that point when we first met. This is many years ago. I guess Inferno also was the first time that you drew us.
No, Hulen.
Was it Hulen? Yeah.
It was Hulen in
2014 or something.
11, I think.
Oh, there you go.
I've dated the art, so I think some of them says 2011, and then Inferno. But
yeah,
I mean, unlike you, I have unlike you, I have a degree of talent.
Yeah.
And I'm aware, I'm aware that I have a degree of talent. So I was aware of how weird and special the thing I was doing was, but it was still. It's still my problem is more my talent catching up with my ego. So at that time, I guess my talent was further away from my ego, and now it's a little bit closer, but the ego is still driving. It's still the carrot driving the horse, I think.
Yeah, that's the way it should be, I guess, as well. Otherwise, you'll end up not in a good place. You always need to drive. You always need to have that carrot in front of you. If not, you'll, at least for my part, I will lose inspiration. If I feel that I'm satisfied, like I always say that it's very bluntly and probably not politically correct, but a fat artist or an unstarving artist is the right way of saying it. a full artist is not at his best, but a starving artist, that's when they really have to really try, and to try everything in order to find their niche. Well, you can start drawing.
Yeah, I can soon start drawing.
I'm a technician, and he's an artist. I apologize.
And start recording that as well, and then, figure out. You zoomed, but I will not. I will try to not let this bother me, and we'll just bother you.
Well, you said that your career was like a series of mishaps. So
Yeah, this is very. Yeah. This is my career.
So if this wasn't happening, then this is all arranged.
Yes, yes. This is all pre-planned. This is wrestling, basically.
Yeah, which you now started with.
Yeah. Maybe we'll get into that later. But about that carrot.
Yeah.
What is that carrot? Because for me, that I know there is a carrot there, and I know I am chasing it. And I have no idea what it is. It's just.
Yeah, you can't visualize it.
And I think I started chasing that carrot when I was very small. When did you start? I mean, you grew up in. On the wrong side of the mountains, I guess.
Yes,
yeah.
For you.
Yeah.
For the rest of the world, it's the right side, but.
Fuck the rest of the world. I mean, we have
Of course.
Everyone has the right to be wrong.
No, but it's halfway between them, almost. So, in a small mountain village. I didn't start to chase, like we had bands and stuff, played in bands when growing up, but it was more like as most bands start out, you are friends that want to do something together to mainly get a hobby. And it wasn't until, well, I didn't, of course, discovered black metal as of the perfect music form, I felt, when I first heard it. Started with Burzum, and which I still find very much inspiration in today, and the first Burzum albums. And I felt that this is the perfect music that I've been searching for. I grew up in a small mountain town and at a farm, and you spent a lot of time working on the farm, and a lot of time in solitude, basically. You have a lot of time with your own mind, which can go in two different directions when you have some sort of creative gene, which I figured out that I had. And at some point I had this thought about a music form that was of an extreme performance in various ways, basically. And when I first heard a music labeled black metal, I was like, well, this is it. Somebody else had the same thought, and they created it. Fantastic. And I was a fan of the black metal for many years until they started saying that this music is black metal, and I didn't feel that it had any resemblance to what it was. Again, it was too much orchestrated synthesizers and even pirate shirts and whatnot. And I felt that, well, this is wrong. This is not what I signed up for. This is not something that I want to be a fan of anymore. But instead of then sitting at Elm Street like all of us did that were into black metal, and sit there, drink beer, and complain about the state of the Norwegian black metal scene, or what was left of it, I thought that, well, this is my chance to do something.
So basically, you were searching for a form of music that you didn't know existed. Then it started, other people made it exist. Mm-hmm. And then when you were dissatisfied with how it went, you decided, no, now it's time to
take it back on track.
Yeah. Which is a fascinatingly egotistical thing to think one can do.
Yeah.
Which is
well, it's black metal.
Yes, that's.
There's no other way.
Yeah, I think that when I started, was first exposed to black metal, I wasn't ready for the sound. I was enjoying all types of metal and weird, different kinds of music, and a lot of alternative and noise music, and things that most 12, 13-year-olds don't listen to, like Marit Spau and John Zorn and stuff like that. Killdozer, Big Black, fantastic things. But the black metal sound didn't make sense to me yet. And I remember being 14 and visiting this guy called Christian in Bergen, who was this big, fat Nazi fella, who were complaining that no, Varg stole the name from me. I was the original Christian and who called himself Varg. He became nothing and never did anything. And so sort of that was my first touch with black metal, and I didn't like him, so I didn't like his music. Then I met the guys from Helheim, and I liked them, and Tåke, and I liked him. And so I could listen to them and to Enslaved, but anything where I hadn't met the people, it was too alien for me. And then a few years later, I started to puzzle the pieces together and find the system behind the noise, in a sense.
Yeah, or you grew a comment to it, basically.
Yeah. That's a more succinct way of saying it.
Yeah, or you can use a classic thing that you say, like it's just like a good wine. It needs some time. You need to drink up to like really good wines. If you get a really good wine, then served as your first wine, you probably won't like it. It needs some time to age on you, basically.
I thought you were going to say it needs some time to get you drunk.
Well, we'll get you drunk regardless. If that's your goal.
Yeah.
No, but I found this for many people that I've spoken to over the years that say that they don't understand the music. Then I can kind of understand that and especially if you, as you said, that you know the people, because that's another way to get into it. Mm. That when you meet the people and you see how they are, and if you are a people reader as well, you can kind of see what type they are, and then you talk a little bit to them and get a little bit of story, and you can kind of understand why they don't get into the world that is black metal, because it is an acquired taste, to put it the least, especially the forms that we want to perform as in 1349, because you are entering, for us, it's a mental journey, and you have to go into the utter edges of it, where you have to find out how deep you can go into your mind, and what is described as darkness, basically. Mm. But black metal to me is to find out how big of a span of emotions you can have, and you can use that as a tool to grow as a human being, to expand your mind, basically. That's where it all started with for me. And it's being said that people say that black metal, you worship the evil and stuff, but that's only half the truth, because the evil side is only half of it. You can't know true evil if you don't know true happiness, and you need to balance the two of them. And so that was also kind of the way that it took for me to explore those depths of the minds, basically.
I think...
and if you're not willing to do that, sorry to interrupt, but if you're not willing to do that, which most people aren't, and then on top of that, if you're bound into some monotheistic religion, then you take away basically all emotions, and you're being told that this is good and this is evil, but it's all all the same human being. It's all there inside of you, and you have to explore it. If not, you live a pretty boring life, in my opinion. And that was one of the main focuses for me, and I come to realize why I liked black metal in the first place and why I was searching for this, because I felt that my life was missing something, some depth in the mind, basically. You have to find that in order to... There's a lot of cool stuff that lies in what's been labeled the darker side of a man's mind, you know. So all the cool stuff, like your boots, for instance, and
yes,
or your T-shirts, same thing. So
yes, Satan lives in all our hearts. Yeah, that's for me. I mean, I'm going to jump back to the childhood thing a little bit, because I started drawing when I was 1 year old, and I started talking when I was like 2.5, 3 years old. And drawing always, I'm still trying to figure out this, but drawing was a way for me to communicate and also to understand, and to understand the world, to put the world into a system that was recognizable for my mind. Because I'm not a person who knows people, who recognizes types of people, but I studied stories and storytelling and comics and drawing facial expressions and all of that, and I use that to understand the world and to play the character of Kim in a hopefully real enough way, so that I can communicate.
You're doing pretty well, yes.
Thank you. I mean,
You pull it off.
yeah, I seem like me on occasions. So that's the best I can do, I guess. And
So interesting.
I very early I started getting attracted to the fairy tales with trolls and dragons, and then I have an older brother, and he wanted to hear horror stories in a book called Grusomme Grøss. So my mother read them aloud for us, and I was too young for them, and I just absolutely freaked out, and started crying and hiding, and then she said, "Shall we stop reading?" No, don't stop reading. And if we're getting back to this carrot, one of the carrots for me is trying to understand this, being drawn to this darkness, and my fascination with it. And you said something about the black metal not being about, not being about just the evil, but that being half of it. But I think for me, what connected me to black metal is to delve down into that darkness and basically figure out that this is it. This is only death is real. Everything else is an illusion in some sense, and from that point you have to start building your own system of good,
Yeah.
of how to interact with this insanity
That is
in
life.
a way that isn't crappy, that isn't awful, not based on what someone tells you is good and evil, but on just on your lived experience, in a sense.
Yeah. Build your own life, basically.
Yeah. And I had to explore it through art, because that's the way I think is
Yeah.
through making these lines on a piece of paper and then trying to make them into a system, make sense of them, and to find the depths. And there's a Mike Patton quote I love about creativity being like having this overflowing toilet full of shit. You just have to dive right in and swim in all the feces, and somewhere down there you find the good shit. That's sort of the same thing, but in a less dark language.
I got a train spotting reference
Yeah.
right there now.
Yeah.
For you older people.
Yeah.
Now, but Mike Patton is also probably one of my favorite vocalists as well. So
Yeah,
he's fantastic.
and
He can sing everything.
I like the fact that you can't really put him anywhere, and if you put him anywhere, he will say fuck off and do his own shit. And there is something very black metal about that attitude, even though it's not black metal. And
Yeah,
it's the.
I totally agree. But no, you said that the system. It's also, to me, I find that it's very calming sometimes to accept that there is no system. That you just have to acknowledge and just go with it as well, like the chaos part of it.
Oh yeah.
And one easy way of calming yourself doing that is just look up at the stars at night.
Oof. But you grew up seeing real stars. I grew up in Bergen, so I only saw.
You
It looked like
you only saw the red dots on top of.
Luckily, once in a while we could see all the way to Ulriken.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it was. Are these stars, or is it just the street lights of the raindrops? I mean.
I don't know. You have to go out there.
Hmm.
I just came from the forest yesterday, so you just have to, basically, just to acknowledge how unimportant and small you are is the first step, and then you try to make as hard as impact as you can as an artist.
Yes.
That's the main. If there's any thought that goes through my mind before going on stage, it's just that. It's like, you don't matter at all, but you have to make as hard as the impact and try and see if you get a little bit of flicker of a star, basically. And that's kind of how to, your ego will kill you 100 times regardless. And the alchemy is is a very real thing, whether you like it or not. And that's on an artistical plan, that's basically vital. The sooner you can figure out alchemy, the better. That's your system.
Yeah, it is. I think it is a sort of not a limitation, but one of the features of the human brain is that about art or any other thing that's important, we have to resort to a magical language.
Yeah, it's just a way of tricking. Just like the computer, it doesn't work this way. You have to try another way. So you have to find
turn it on
hack.
and off again.
Yeah, you have to do a hack. Sometimes you have have to do the restart. Yeah.
Yeah. We I've done that restart a lot of times. But one of the amazing things when I met you guys and drew you for the first time, because I started drawing concerts by accident, and then I saw, my art looks like this music that I've learned to love. Mm-hmm. And someone, Ingvild at Hulen, asked me if I wanted to come draw you guys. And I had listened a little bit to your stuff, so that'd be fun. And a lot of black metal artists are, in their heart, are rock and rollers. It's rock and roll music for a lot of people. And having a weird guy drawing at the side of the stage is strange for a lot of bands. And I got a lot of interest for what I was doing, but only a few bands sort of understood what I was trying to do. And you guys immediately understood it and also opened your arms to my stuff, and yeah, invited me in and gave me pizza and beer. So that's all I need as an artist.
Yeah,
And
that's basically what you. You don't need anything more.
yeah, and you also said, "Oh, I know a guy who will like this stuff, Tom Warrior from Celtic Frost." So I sent him an email about my stuff, and that ties sort of into Only Death is Real, because I, just like you were looking for a sound, I was looking for, I'll draw it now. No, we'll draw it later. We'll see if if the gods or fates or forces that be accept this drawing by drawing an enso, which is a circle that Zen Buddhists put on Japanese art. And I've taken that symbol and appropriated it. And for me, it always meant sort of infinity and nothingness, and everything and nothing, death and life, but I didn't quite know how to put it into words until I started very late getting into Celtic Frost and Triptychon through you guys and some other people, and finding this phrase, and then starting to see that circle as only death is real, as the only thing that exists is the nothingness inside and outside the circle, and the circle is the illusion that we perceive. This is a weird career to have, I think.
No, I don't think so.
No, I think, yeah.
This is my everyday mind talk. So this is how I traverse my own mind. So.
I mean, yes, yeah.
But it's interesting you mentioned Tom, and this is obviously also the reason why we became good friends, because we have the same thoughts about a lot of things, and also how it was in the upbringing that he was looking for something extreme. Of course, when you read his book, his upbringing was extremely much extreme in every way, but it's a lot to be learned from his book.
I should probably read it one day, but it's a problem. It doesn't have enough pictures.
Maybe he'll get he always finds new pictures, so maybe he'll do a photo edition of it, especially for you.
I need a comic book edition. Then I can read. But when I should probably know this, because but in creatively in 1349, what do you actually do?
Nothing.
Nothing. What a delight. And you don't write the music, you don't write the lyrics. You just go on stage and look good.
Try to.
It's a
I'm failing at that as well.
It's a tough job, but somebody has to do it.
No, but that's what I said in the beginning, that my talent is to find talent in other people, and when I find people that writes the music so much better than I can do myself, and I find somebody that writes the lyrics so much better, but they know exactly, this is exactly how I want it to do, and at the same time you give them input, and they will elaborate on that and make it even better. Why the hell should I try something that I just would fail at or not be satisfied with? I'm satisfied in seeing the talent in the other guys, and that's kind of how I formed the band. It's and as I said, normally bands are formed by friends, but very bluntly I said over the years that 1349 is not a band of friends. We are a band on a mission, and that's how all of us, they were enlisted with the vision of creating something like 1349, and say that we're going to take back the grimness and the rawness of black metal and bring it back. And do you want to be a part of that feeling that you had first time you heard black metal? And that's what everybody signed up for, and they were picked for that task. Well, not Frost, he asked to join later on, but he was a natural choice when he offered his services. He was first approached as a session drummer, and then he said that I don't want to be a session, I want to join if you can live with these terms. And I said, that's acceptable, I'll fire myself as a drummer and you can start immediately. And then it kind of just went on from there, and so the friendship part is it's not something that's needed. We are, of course, we are friends, otherwise we wouldn't been able to tour together or stay in the same backstage, but that's not the main purpose. And that's what differentiates 1349, I think, from a lot of bands, and why we have such a solid lineup over the years as well. That it's not the friendship, it's the mission that keeps the band together, because it's a higher purpose in a way. It's not that you have to take into consideration that this guy's feelings or whatever, you know. It's like it's the band has its will of its own, and we come to experience this very various ways in the beginning. We tried to form the music or the band to do something. We were in the studio trying to record. We wanted it to sound in a different, maybe we should try this way. And then maybe an amplifier blew up or something always happened, and it ended up being, oh, well, we just have to make it, this is the way that it sounds, so we have to keep with that way. And in retrospect, some years down the road, it's like, well, why the hell did we want to change that? You know, it's like and it became a lot easier to produce the albums as well once, as I said, I could embrace the chaos and embrace the fact that you don't have to know anything, you don't have to force everything, you just have to kind of go with your gut feeling and go with the flow and feel out the beast and just be along for the ride.
And that's a fun ride, because
well, in retrospect, at least.
Yeah, in retrospect, but or a lot of times people ask me, "Oh, it must be fun to go to festivals and draw bands," and my reply is, "I don't do this for fun. I go to festivals on a mission. Yeah. I go here to work." And then in retrospect, it becomes fun to have lived through it. But day to day, I mean, I don't do this for fun. And where was I going with this? Something that has helped me actually have more fun with my art, have more pleasure in my art, and take more pride in it, is to start incorporating chaos in more and more ways, and incorporating chaos through like ink blots or through ritual or through various accidental or magical means, to find ways of fucking up the process, or making sure that the process is so hopeless that it will fuck itself up in some sense. Because then I start to go into the art without expectations and discover something new and I can look back at that new thing I made and say, ah, yeah, better than I thought, because I didn't think before doing it. But whenever I start planning stuff, I mean, you have to plan some stuff, but that's the way for me to build so many expectations that I will always look back on the work as somehow failing to live up to my idea.
You create mental blocks, basically. That's when you're trying to accomplish something, and you figure and you kind of you stake out the road where you want to go, and it has to be this road.
Oh, yes.
But then a traffic accident happens, and you get stuck in a queue, and you should have just followed the GPS, follow Google Maps, basically. Google will take you where you should go.
That's yeah, definitely. I always follow.
Don't do that, by the way. It's metaphorically speaking.
I always follow our tech overlords at Google. I don't question. I always pray to Google before I go anywhere.
Which direction is Google, by the way?
I think it's that direction. That's what my inner Google compass is saying.
It's an app for that.
Hmm?
It's an app for that.
Yeah. I have had it installed in my Neuralink.
It's the latest update.
I forgot to update, so nothing is quite working. We are closing in on the 45 minutes we were allocated, I think.
Mm-hmm.
We still have a few minutes left, so I still have a few minutes to order this chaos.
I normally work in 49 minutes, but that's a different story.
Yeah, I think we're allowed to push it to 49. But from the time when you started 1349 until now, black metal and the world has changed.
Not really.
The world has changed somewhat.
Depends on what scope you see it in.
It has revealed itself more.
Depends if you look at it from a 100-year perspective, or if you turn to more 1,000-year perspective. But
I stand corrected.
History repeats itself.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's just that people are more hysterical about sudden changes, and they get to know it faster. Everything's just get faster.
But one of the fascinating things with 1349 is you have this core mission, but you are not creating retro music again and again. You're creating something new, I think.
Yeah, so we're not trying to change, but we're trying to create something new. So
Yeah.
That's basically the main purpose. So you can plunder a little bit about that feeling.
Yeah,
so I feel that so we have 5 years between the last albums, and it's a reason why I take that time to. First and foremost, it's we're getting older, which is a good thing. And
it's better than not getting older.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And then the way it works to kind of get everything out there and get all the people aligned at the same time, because we live very different lives, all four of us as well, and so to time align that first and foremost, that's one aspect, which mainly falls upon me, obviously, since the others
have talent.
And I think Jared Pritchard describes it very well, that he says that to try and get something worse, why do you always have to make things so hard? do it in the worst possible way. It's like, I don't think of it that way. Just this is just the way that it has to be for us.
That's where the fun is.
It's like, but it is always, that's why we hired you, because you can handle it. I know you can handle the pressure. And again, it comes down to finding the talent in the people. And then he also says that it's just like trying to catch lightning. It's you have a split second to do it, and then then you don't have it anymore. But
and that's basically my art as well. This is, you know, me taking a long time with the picture. You know, a lot of great artists use like months or years, and I like, ooh, 15 minutes. That's a slow one. But it is that capturing lightning thing, and I always say when people ask me, you know, how many good pictures can you draw in a night, and I say I'm satisfied if it's 1 out of 10 in a night of drawing concerts. Then that's fantastic, because that's one lightning caught in a bottle. Mm-hmm. Which shouldn't happen 1 out of 10 times, but with luck it can. With the fates it can, and that's and it's also, you know, why I keep drawing bands like 1349 is I'm still waiting for, maybe I can catch one more lightning in a bottle. Maybe I can really catch them this time. And I mean, we've talked a little bit about your lack of talent, but in terms of people in black metal who are brilliant frontmen and just capture the audience with every move, then you're one of the very, very few. Which is one of the fun things about drawing you guys. One of them is connecting with the sound and the rhythm, because my own nervous rhythm has always been this, and then I discovered
it's the best bit rhythm.
Yeah, it's perfect. But to have someone like you who just go out and become a vessel for the energy of the band, it's amazing, and it's not that common. There's a handful others that I've drawn that are in the same league. So that's always fascinating.
Well, thank you. And I noticed this also, and I've recently been going through all the old drawings that the majority of them was of me.
Oh yeah, you're the big problem. And also, I always draw the vocalist the most, because he has the biggest ego. So that's shave a few years off him and a few kilos, and then everything is good.
Make my hair black again.
Yes. Yeah. That's.
I was doing this. I make. I can say this. Then we're making. We have recorded a live album some years ago, and the artwork I'm using Kim's drawing for all the artwork for it. So that's why I'm working on it right now with in Photoshop. So that's been reviewing all the drawings, that they will all be incorporated in the live album. It's like it's the perfect look for the whole thing. So is it me? No, it's you. The sound.
That's me.
Yeah.
It's my
facial hairs.
Yeah, it's my beard that it wants to talk, and wants to say that we're at 49 minutes. So I promised that I was going to show you the Enso, and the thing is, with a lot of art, the art is for me, a spiritual practice. It is a magical practice. It took me a long time to realize this, but this is what it is. And if I start suspecting that something has a sort of a spiritual significance, I end the drawing by doing this enso, and it has to be done in one stroke, and it has to be perfect in its own way. And if it works, then the gods have accepted the drawing. If it doesn't work, I am bound by law to tear up the drawing. So I think, because of what we've discussed, I think I have to see if the gods allow this portrait, or if I have to. I didn't make the rules, I only made the rules. And this is as nerve-wracking every time. I think it works. Yes. I don't have to tear it up. You agree?
Approved, as always.
Approved by the gods and by Ravn. So that's
the same.
Why, of course.